Tonight's SmackDown, I guess you could say tonight's SmackDown was somewhat both good and okay. We got the return of Seth Rollins. We got the Roman Reigns blockbuster announcement. We got Cesaro and Daniel Bryan qualifying for Elimination Chamber. And we also got Sami Zayn and Baron Corbin qualifying for the SmackDown Elimination Chamber. Plus, we got Bayley winning her match, picking up a victory over Liv Morgan, which I'm assuming this is going to be a Wyatt Squad and Bayley feud. And then we got the women's segment on SmackDown with Bianca Belair and Sasha Banks in the ring with Nia Jax and Shayna Baszler. Now, the question is, what is this all leading to? Could this lead to Nia Jax and Shayna Baszler defending their women's tag team titles against Bianca Belair and Sasha Banks for Elimination Chamber? Or is this just Nia Jax and Shayna Baszler appearing to help the SmackDown ratings? Or did their appearance help the SmackDown ratings at all? I'm going to give you my answer to that, which I'm sure you already know what my answer is going to be on that. And we got much more on the channel, folks. We got much more to go over right here on my Ingram Wrestling News YouTube channel. Ladies and gentlemen, have y'all had enough yet? This is Ingram Wrestling News' very own Brennan, here live with your February the 12th, 2021 SmackDown review. This is not a gameplay, folks. This is an actual SmackDown review. So if you're new to the channel, hit that subscribe button and turn on that bell for all notifications. Of course, I don't really play this game much, so again, not a gameplay, SmackDown review. But subscribe to the channel, turn on the bell for notifications. Also, follow me on Twitter, Ingram Wrestling, for the latest WWE and AEW news. It's important to follow me on Twitter, because you never know what article you'll miss. You never know what news you'll miss on the channel or on my YouTube account. Also, Follow me on Twitch, man. Need some more followers on there. I'm desperate for more followers on there. Definitely. Also, if you're new to my channel, man, please hit that subscribe button. Why you need to hit that subscribe button? Why you need to subscribe to my channel? Because number one, I am on the road to 1,000, and number two, I'm dangerously close to 200. That's why you need to subscribe to the channel. Help me out, man. Support me in my channel. And there's other ways you can support me in my channel too. Also, hit the like button on all of my Call of Duty streams. And if you enjoyed the video on the What is Kill Confirmed, the video that just dropped about an hour ago, please be sure you leave a like on it too. You should all check out the thumbnail. I did really good on it. So we're gonna go ahead and get started with the SmackDown review. I may have some SmackDown lose later on. I said lose. That's funny because I'm not in the mood of getting loose right now. But seriously, I may have some SmackDown news later on in the review. I don't know. We'll see. Depends on what news it is. So we're going to go ahead and get started with the review. As you all know, keep in mind the opening to tonight's SmackDown was really, really, really good. I was really happy. It was a really good opening. It made people actually want to watch this opening right here, man. It definitely made people want to watch. Really. So, ladies and gentlemen, the opening to SmackDown opens up with the Thunderdome and lightning inside the Thunderdome, and out comes the WWE Tribal Chief. Waiting for Reigns. Also, keep in mind, Heyman and Uso were with him. And we see a replay of last week. Now, Rowan smiles and tells Pierce not to be scared of him. Then proceeds to tell him in his eyes last week. Because Edge knows what he'd do to him. He beat him so bad, they'd need to give him a Legends contract. I don't know if this makes sense to anybody here or not. But Reigns says Edge waiting is just a ploy, hoping someone will take the belt from him. But that isn't going to happen. He's going to hold on to that belt as long as he wants to. Now, as for why Pierce is out here, they needed to talk about Elimination Chamber. Pierce says he has a contract that states Roman will defend the Universal Championship inside the Elimination Chamber. Just the same as Drew McIntyre. Now, Reigns laughs and says, Paul can handle this one. He can handle this one. Heyman introduces himself and says Roman's agreement with WWE states that he will defend the Universal Championship on big shows like Elimination Chamber. But nowhere does it say Roman has to defend the title inside the chamber. Heyman suggests whoever wins the SmackDown match can face Roman right after the match instead. Bruce, this has got to be your typical writing, isn't it? Man, how does this sound to anybody? I don't get it. Heyman says he knows Pierce doesn't like it, but what's he going to do about it? Heyman says. He asks Adam Pearce that. So, he's not going to fire the Universal Champion, especially this close to WrestleMania. Now, Heyman says last year's WrestleMania didn't feature Roman Reigns, and it was at least attended in WWE history. He tells Pierce to book the match, as he stated. He tells Pierce to book the match as he stated, and Pierce says he clearly has some work to do, including qualifying matches. However, two men he doesn't believe need to qualify are just Jey Uso and Kevin Owens. You gotta love WWE booking the same matches every week. Doesn't that get annoying to some of you all that watch SmackDown Raw every week? Gets annoying to me, I tell you that much. It's similar to how annoying it gets when you get killed constantly, and then you have to get back up and get killed again, and get back up, get killed on Call of Duty Black Ops Cold War. That's how fucking annoying this was. That's how fucking annoying it is for WWE to be booking the same matches every week. That's how they lose audience right there. That's how the audience gets dragged away right there, man. Jesus Christ. Talk about 50-50 booking. The same shit. Rants and repeats every week. Jesus Christ, man. Pierce leaves the ring and stands by the barricade as he finishes his promo. Roman goes out of the ring and gets in Pierce's face and berates him, saying he just doesn't get it. Heyman makes Roman back off, but he stares a hole through Pierce as he does so. So we had our first two entrants inside the SmackDown chamber with more to come. Now, I will say that Roman Reigns and Paul Heyman did a really good job with their promo. This was a fantastic opening to start the show. A very, very good, very, very, very awesome, fantastic segment to start the show. This is what you want. This is the kind of segment that you want on the show. This is the type of segment that you want to start off SmackDown every week. That's what I'm talking about right there. That's what we need every Friday nights. That's the kind of segment we need, man. It was a solid segment. And to be honest, even though it was fantastic, it didn't really review anything. It didn't really review much. It didn't review anything we didn't already know. In fact, we knew there would be qualifying matches, and we knew Reigns would defend the title in some way at the pay-per-view. But we know that the Tribal Chief is in great role. But this segment bordered on repetitive. We've seen him assert his authority, folks, with Pierce before. So this did not really trend any new ground. But the twist of Uso possibly earning a spot inside the chamber was the most interesting thing to come out of this, even though we are tired of seeing Owens versus Jey Uso every week. I mean, we've seen it so many times that people's heads are going to be fucking spinning all over the place. Yeah, seriously. This definitely didn't do it. But Heyman, Reigns, and Pierce were all good. This segment was almost unnecessary. It really was. It was almost there. Almost. Now, I just want to note that WWE should have realized that Edge prolonging his choice at WrestleMania is doing nothing for ratings. Now, obviously, this Elimination Chamber shit was as lazy as I myself, too, ever seen it. Now, one chamber should be a title match and the other should determine the challenger for the other at Mania. Period. And that's all I gotta say going forward with this review, man. It's the truth. I had to put the truth out there, and I just did. You not just hear what I said? Now, commercial break. Sonya Deville stops Adam Pearce backstage, and he says he needs to populate the chamber in less than 2 hours. Now, Sonya says she's way ahead of him. Why don't they do a tag team match? Which this did absolutely make no sense whatsoever. I noted this. I looked at this when I was live on my SmackDown. You should have saw my reaction. Dude, you should have saw my reaction, dude. I just froze when I heard that. Tag team qualifying match. I froze when I heard that. It's good that they're doing qualifying, but a tag team match? Qualifying tag team match? What is this, Bruce? Seriously, what is this? Really? So it says, why don't they do a tag team match where the winning team both qualify for the match? Pearce likes the idea, and Deville says she's already booked it. Yeah, sure thing, Bruce. Sure thing. I know this had to be your writing. It's not Sonya Deville's fault that she had to say all that. If anything, I'm putting it on Bruce. Bruce Pritchard. Because this is his... You know, the guy that says, "Oh, I love you." That fucking blittering idiot. Yeah, that guy. Anyhow, Pearce liked the idea, and Deville says she's already booked it. So the Mysterios are out first, followed by their opponents. Sami Zayn, however, cuts a promo on the way to the ring about all the injustice that WWE management are inflicting upon him. Zayn says management would much prefer Rey and Dominik get into the Elimination Chamber, but he's not going to let that happen. Rey and Dominik dropkick Sami off the apron, and Corbin is alone. So we basically got Rey and Dominik versus Sami Zayn and Baron Corbin. So the bell rings and Rey beats Baron and even knocks him onto the middle rope. But as he runs for the 619, he gets trapped by Dominik, then whips out Sami with a suicide dive. Literally smashes his own face on the announce table inside the ring. Rey jumps onto Corbin and Hurricane Rana's him over the ropes to the floor. Rey gets Dominik back in the ring as we head to commercial break. Back from commercial break, we're back live, and Rey drop toe holds Corbin onto the middle turnbuckle. Then Zayn and Dominik gets tags. Dominik catches Zayn with a tilt-a-whirl head scissors, then kicks him back and lands a tornado DDT from the middle rope. Dominik gets Sami in the corner and drills him with shoulder tackles. Sami throws him over the ropes to the apron, but Dominik slams his face into the buckle and hits a tope over the ropes. I guess he hits the top over the ropes. That's what I'm guessing. But anyways, Corbin tries to get involved, and Dominik drops him and hits a tope as well. Dominik gets distracted, and Zayn rolls him up for 2, then hits a blue thunderbomb for a near fall. Dominik reverses to Sami to land. He versus Sami to land a neckbreaker, but Corbin breaks the pin attempt. Ray runs in and knocks Corbin onto the middle rope. Then he and Dominik hit a double 619. Ray and Baron roll outside, but catches Dominik with an exploder suplex. Zayn did. He catches Dominik with an exploder suplex in the corner and a Hanuta kick for the win. And that was it. Zayn Corbin qualified for the SmackDown Elimination Chamber. 2 spots are left in that match. They were. Now they're taken by Corbin and Zayn. Now listen here. Seeing a father and son team up in a WWE ring is always fun. But, folks, when it comes to this feud, WWE needs to stick a fork in it because it should have been done by now. Corbin has fought both Mysterios in singles and tag matches with no meaningful storyline behind them so many times that it is almost too obvious that nobody has any idea what to do with the Mysterios now. I mean, Dominik has lost. This is his 3rd week in a row losing. We don't need to see Dominik and Mysterio wasted on TV similar to how Bruce buried the entire NXT roster that got called up, the entire NXT talents that got called up to the main roster, including Aleister Black, Keith Lee, Matt Riddle, all those NXT talents that got called up to the roster from last year. The ones Bruce buried, yeah. We don't need to see Rey Mysterio and Dominik getting buried like them. We don't need to see Rey Mysterio and Dominik get wasted on TV like they did. That's just bad. That would be so bad, man. It's already starting out bad. Guarantee it's going to get worse next week. They're probably going to get wasted again. But anyway, Zayn's pre-match promo was as good as you would expect, folks. He is amazing at making a nothing match seem like a main event because he is so passionate in his delivery. Now, as far as the fight is concerned, listen up. All 4 guys did a, I guess, decent job, even though I don't know about Corbin. I don't know if he did a decent job or not. I mean, even though I'm not a fan of Corbin, I will say he did somewhat of a little bit of a good job, but I just don't really like the guy. I'm not a fan of the guy. I love his attires. I'm just not a fan of the guy at all. Nobody's a fan of the guy. Not even my followers, Bonafide Heat and the elitists. Nobody in the community is a fan of this guy. The guy fucking sucks. He is complete garbage. His character is absolutely terrible. I think he needs to go back to the Lone Wolf character. I think that character is a whole lot better than the character he is currently, I guess, the character he currently is right now. I think Zayn and Corbin winning it, to me, wasn't the right call. I think Dominik and Mysterio should have gotten this win because I think this would have gave them an opportunity at Roman Reigns for the Universal Championship. But then again, I wouldn't want to see Dominik and Rey Mysterio get their asses whooped by Roman Reigns. So I guess I could say this was somewhat a right call. I don't know if I want to say that. I did, but shit. I didn't really care about this, to be honest. And you know what? It's an absolute shame that Dominik has to lose every fucking week because Bruce and Vince just doesn't care. Just doesn't have nothing. WWE just doesn't have no plans for these 2 guys. They don't even have no plans for Buddy Murphy. They don't even have no plans for Buddy Murphy. It's really a waste of time, man. It really is. It's complete fucking bullshit. It really is, man. They need to get this Rey Mysterio and Corbin feud off of our TVs because nobody is interested in this feud no more. It should have been done by now, Bruce! This feud should have been done and over with by now. But no, obviously, they want to go the opposite way. They want to go the opposite by continuing it, knowing it's not helping the SmackDown viewership or the ratings. It's not helping the SmackDown viewership or ratings, folks. Instead, it's bringing the viewership down and it's bringing the ratings down even more. This feud has to fucking go. TVs, man. They need to find something else. They need to find something for Ray and Dominik to do. Seriously. Even more so, they need to find something for Zayn to do. Because it seems like they got nothing for him either. What they need is more male talent debuts. Because Bruce can't stand NXT talents. So, if they use them, if they know how to use them right on TV, book them right, it'd be fine. But no, they want to waste all this NXT talent, want to fucking keep them off TV and shit. Yeah, Aleister Black. That's one of the guys they kept off TV, right? When is he coming back? Seriously. I still want to know what plans they have for him. I think his plan is going to be a feud with Roman Reigns after Roman Reigns' feud with Daniel Bryan. Let's be honest. Daniel Bryan should be winning the Elimination Chamber. And we're going to talk about that Daniel Bryan Cesaro versus the Dirty Dogs later on in the review. The Dirty Dogs known as Roode and Ziggler. So, anyways, Roode and Ziggler walk in on Deville and Pierce and tell them the only real option for the last two chamber spots are them. Roode says they're two pros, Dirty Dogs, and fan favorites. Deville jokes that they want to be in the same pod, but they correct her. Deville says they can earn their spot if they can beat Cesaro and Daniel Bryan later that night. Commercial break, Sasha Banks is talking to Kalisto backstage, but Reginald appears and offers her a glass of champagne. Reggie apologizes to Banks, says he is confident she could be Bianca Belair. Banks flirts with him. And we see a replay of last week when Big E defeated Apollo Crews and Zayn. Big E is in the ring, and he says last week he defended his Intercontinental Championship against the odds. Now, and just like Tom Brady on a celebratory boat ride, he's still standing somehow. Big E says he has put that chapter behind him, and that Apollo Crews interrupts and says that he knows why Big E is out here. He's about to do an open challenge for the Intercontinental Championship. But nobody is better suited than him. So he accepts. But Big E says he's half right. He's willing to give anyone a shot, anyone but Crews. Ha! That's freaking hilarious, man. It really is. It is really hilarious that he said anyone but Crews. Because Cruz has gotten too many opportunities, man. I mean, why would anybody want to challenge the same person every week? That doesn't make sense. Especially if it's not a fucking feud. Now, if it's a feud, yeah, okay, I can understand that. But if it's not a feud and he's just challenging him twice, it just doesn't make sense. It wouldn't make sense. You all get what I'm saying? Apollo Crews tells him he's supposed to be a fighting champion, but Big E says he's beat him and he needs to go to the back of the line. They argue without a mic, and it gets tense. Big E tells him to get out of the ring because they are done. They're done. Like, they're literally done. I guess that means the Apollo Crews and Big E feud's done. I guess that means that too. Which I hope. I'm hoping we see a Big E and Seth Rollins feud, because that's what needs to happen. Then asks for his next challenger. Shinsuke Nakamura answers the call, and he makes his way to the ring. Big E does need a challenger for the Intercontinental Championship, and I think it should be Seth Rollins. Seth Rollins, I don't think, is number one Intercontinental Champion, unless he's a former Intercontinental Champion. I don't know. But Seth Rollins would be a good challenger for Big E. Especially given their match back at NXT. Or was it an NXT TakeOver? I think it was an NXT TakeOver. And we got Big E versus Shinsuke Nakamura. So the title match gets underway and Nakamura drops Big E right away. Then chokes him with a boot in the corner. Nakamura goes to the corner and runs at Big E, but gets completely clobbered with a body attack. Big E drags Nakamura under the bottom rope and pounds him with forearms. Then he hits a big splash on the apron. Apollo Crews is still at ringside and he gets on the apron to encourage Nakamura, and Big E walks over to talk him down. Nakamura catches Big E with an enziguri, then a knee to the gut and lays him across the top rope. Nakamura hits a running knee and goes to the middle rope for a leaping knee to the jaw for a near fall. Shinsuke delivers vicious knees to the shoulders of Big E, then looks for the Kinshasa, but Big E avoids it. Nakamura hits a spinning heel kick, then runs at him but gets caught with a Uranagi for a near fall. Big E claps for Nakamura to get up and looks for the big ending, but Shinsuke slides off and Apollo Crews appears out of nowhere with a drop kick to Big E. And that was it. So Big E won by disqualification. Apollo Crews leaves up the ramp smiling and talking trash to an irate Big E. I'm guessing this feud is far from over, which should be over now that Seth Rollins is back. In my opinion, it should be. That way, we can get the start of the Seth Rollins and Big E feud going forward here. Now, I will admit this was a short match, so neither superstar involved had enough time to make anything more than an advantage encounter. Now, what mattered was the outcome, or should I say, was what came after. Crews has been teasing a heel turn for weeks, but it finally happened on Friday when he hit Big E with a dropkick. Now Crews needs to prove he can be a convincing bad guy. Now, Big E and Crews, folks, have great chemistry, but they have already had 5 title matches in 2021. If this feud continues, it needs to end soon, folks, before the ratings for SmackDown get worse. It needs to end before they start losing audience, too. Because people are going to eventually get bored with it. And they're going to get sick of it. And they're going to flip the remote. They're going to pick up the remote controls. And they're going to flip the fucking channel. You know what I mean? Change the goddamn channel. That's what's going to happen. If they don't end this feud soon. So anyways, we see a promo for the return of Seth Rollins. The entire SmackDown roster makes its way down to the ring, which I thought was a complete fucking waste. Oh, man. What was this, Bruce? What was this, Bruce? Your hilarious way of wasting Seth Rollins on TV? To get him over for his return? This was a complete fucking waste, man. Oh my goodness. And then Buddy Murphy was there too, and he was wasted too. The whole entire roster was wasted, man. Jesus Christ. Seems like the whole entire roster was there for nothing. Commercial break. Seth Rollins comes out to his old music. What is he getting his old music back for? I mean, his new music was fine. Is this a sign that he could be turning face sometime soon? Is that why they're giving his old music back? I mean, it's got to be a reason. There's got to be a reason why he's giving his old music back. Got to be a reason why. Got to be a reason why they gave him his old music back, man. I'm telling you. The announcers are only calling him the Architect. The Architect. But he's wearing a black leather suit and smiling as the other superstars clap for him. Rollins says it feels good to be back in the Thunderdome. It just feels right. He says a lot has changed since he sacrificed himself at Survivor Series. But that thing that has changed the most is himself. He says he recently became a parent for the first time, and he is the proud father of a perfect baby girl. She has changed his life in ways he could never have imagined. And that change has given him a new perception, a new vision. When he looks around the ring, he sees some of the most talented people in the entire industry, and he wonders where he fits in. But after a lot of introspection, he realized he is in fact the greater leader SmackDown has ever needed. SmackDown's always needed to get to the next level. All the superstars start leaving ringside, and Seth gets frustrated. He says he can be their father, their mentor, but they ignore him. Rollins continues alone, saying, all we have to do for a better tomorrow is embrace the vision. Rollins smiles, but the lights won't. But for Cesaro. Rollins points at Cesaro and says he knows he would understand. Cesaro shrugs and walks off, but Seth gets out of the ring and attacks him on the ramp. Rollins beats Cesaro, and a half dozen referees. And I'm guessing you all, let me remind you who Seth Rollins is. It's this guy right here. Hello. Now the referees come down, but they can't stop him. Daniel Bryan runs down and punches Seth, sending him retreating. How will Cesaro fare in the Elimination Chamber qualifying match tonight? It said. That's just a question, it's not an answer. Bayley made her way to the ring after a promo for Elimination Chamber pay-per-view. She would be taking on Liv Morgan after a commercial break. Now, the Seth Rollins and Cesaro confrontation, I'm thinking this is leading to a Rollins and Cesaro feud, which I'm hoping this is leading to. But I think this is leading to two things. Number one, like I said, I'm going to say it again, the Cesaro and Rollins feud. It could be leading to the start of that feud. Or number two, it could perhaps be leading to a start of the Rollins and Bryan feud, which I do not want. Oh, hell no. I do not want that feud. I would much rather see a Reigns and Bryan feud than a Seth Rollins and Bryan feud. I mean, let's be honest. Seth Rollins and Bryan do have a history between one another, but why would we want to see that feud again? It just doesn't feel right. It doesn't feel right, man. It does not feel right. Why? Why? Where are they going with this? And why this? I hope, for my sake, oh my god, for my sake, I hope it's just Rollins and Cesaro feuding and not Bryan and Rollins. Because we never have seen a Rollins and Cesaro feud before on television. Never. Ever. I don't think none of us have. But to be honest, this would have been a perfect opportunity for him to ditch the Messiah stuff. But he was doubling down. And we know Rollins was the same man he was last year. The promo he gave was fine. It won't be among his most memorable, but the roster walking out on him didn't have the impact it should have. But that is because it made no sense for everybody to be out there in the first place. That's what I said. That was a complete waste for people to be out there, man. That's what I said, man. Absolutely complete waste. Some people even on Twitter said that this was a complete waste. I'm agreeing with what I'm saying here. That's why I said, because it made no sense for everybody to be out there in the first place. I'm agreeing with myself. I'm agreeing with what I'm saying. Because what I said is the truth. It's the truth for the greater good for all of my Ing Wrestling News subscribers, moderators, and viewers to hear. I want my subscribers to hear the truth about wrestling. The truth about all of these segments and matches. That's what I'm all about, man. Giving everybody what they want to see on the channel. But seriously, I hope this is leading to a Rollins and Cesaro feud, because if it's not, I'm going to be really pissed the fuck off. Or, you know what? You know what? Change that. I think it should lead to a Rollins and Big E feud, like I was saying earlier in the review. They could put Seth Rollins right in the feud with Big E. Subject to change. They could change something here. So we'll see. Where are they going to get a Big E Rollins feud, or a Big E, or where are they going to get a Seth Rollins Cesaro feud, or a Rollins and Big E feud? One of the two. We're not getting, I can tell you right now, I'm certain we are not getting the Rollins and Bryan feud. I'm certain we're not getting that. We don't need it. We already seen it. Why? What's the use of getting a Rollins Bryan feud? We already got it years ago. It makes no sense. It really doesn't. It makes absolutely, legitimately no sense here whatsoever. Period. Anyways, we got Morgan. Oh, it's Liv! Then we got Liv Morgan versus Bayley. With Ruby Riott ringside watching Liv Morgan's match against Bayley. So basically, it's Liv Morgan, seriously folks, basically it's Morgan with Ruby Riott versus Bayley. I think we are in the right direction here. I think this is the right call for WWE to put Bayley in the matches against Ruby and Liv Morgan. This was the right call by WWE to definitely book Bayley in a match against Liv Morgan. It was definitely the right call to book Bayley in a match against Ruby Riott from last Friday. Because, remember, on my SmackDown review last year, I said that Bayley, I said this. I said that either they should start with Bayley feuding with Bianca Belair, or they should start having Bayley feuding with the Riott Squad. Instead, they went with Bayley feuding with Bianca Belair. I like the idea. I also like the idea of Bayley starting her feud with the Wyatt Squad. I think a Bayley and a Wyatt Squad feud would be great. It could shed some new light. It could fucking help the viewership a little bit, at least. I'm hoping it helps it a whole lot. If WWE goes with it and does it right. But with Billie Kay added to this feud, oh no! Oh, it just ruins it, man. It just really ruins it with Billie Kay in this feud. It really does. She's absolutely terrible. Bad accent. A very, very bad Australian accent. I mean, don't get me wrong. I will give a little bit of credit where it's due. She is entertaining, but she's just terrible at what she does. You can't have anybody like that on TV, man. Seriously. So, Liv Morgan versus Bayley. The bell rings as Bayley is taunting, but Liv runs and attacks her. Bayley manages to back Liv into the corner and basically knocks her onto the middle rope, so to speak. Liv hits a drop kick to the back, then a drop kick from the middle rope, and Bayley rolls from the ring to regroup. Natalya and Tamina are shown watching backstage. Oh god, I don't even know what the hell they're doing on my TV. Why are they on my TV? Please keep them off my TV, Bruce. If you can't keep them off my TV, then I'm gonna have to pick up the remote control and change the entire fucking channel. Seriously. I'm gonna have to flip the channel. Flip it to fucking Investigate Discovery or something, man. I would much rather watch Investigate Discovery than to see Tamina and Natalya on my TV. Seriously. Jesus Christ. Liv runs and jumps off the steel steps at Bayley, but nobody's home. And she takes a gnarly bump on the barricade. I started to want to cry. Liv Morgan has this kind of some sort of cry character, I guess, so to speak. She's this woman who cries. Tears coming down with ice tears coming down her. And I'm guessing it's a tear makeup. That's what I'm guessing. I don't know. But Bayley laughs and gets Liv back in the ring for a 2 count. Bayley stomps Liv before choking her on the middle rope in front of Ruby. Bayley takes too much time and Liv catches her with a facebuster. Bayley She trips Liv on the ropes, then hits an arm breaker for a 2 count. Morgan catches Bayley with an enziguri followed by Oblivion for a near fall. Billie Kay comes down to the ring and this is the part I didn't like. Billie Kay comes down to the ring and tries to apologize to Ruby Riott, and they start arguing. The referee gets distracted with what's happening on the floor, allowing Bayley to rake the eyes off Liv and hit the Rose Plant for the win. And that was it, folks. Folks, either Billie Kay is joining the squad or she needs to go out. Seriously. This ain't working. The Wyatt Squad's push is getting bad. Their push has went from good to down the drain. I think with Billie Kay involved with the Riott Squad storyline or Riott Squad, Bayley feud, or whatever it is, I think at this point it's closer to leading to Billie Kay turning on the Wyatt Squad and Billie Kay getting her singles push, which I hope is not gonna fucking happen. Nobody wants to see Billie Kay on TV every week. Seriously. It's absolutely annoying seeing her on TV every week. It really is. I mean, who really fucking cares? Nobody really gives a shit, can care less about this woman. That's like saying the same thing to Peyton Royce. Really, man. I don't know why WWE are wasting their time with this woman. Why don't you just get rid of her? Something. Get rid of Peyton Royce. Let her go. You need to fucking just release her from WWE or something, man. Because everybody's getting tired of seeing her on television. Like, Billie Kay needs to fuck off somewhere else, man. She always sticks her nose at the wrong place. Really. Really does. It's embarrassing. It really is. It is fucking terrible. Get her off my TV, Bruce. Get her off of JD's TV. Get her off of fucking Bonafide Heat's TV. Get her off the Real One's TV. Get her off the A-List TV. Get her off of everybody's TV. Everybody in the IWC community. Get it off their TVs. Or anything, get her off their TVs. Please. I'm sick of, we're all sick of seeing this shit, man. We're all sick of seeing Billie Kay. She is not helping the SmackDown ratings, Bruce. Jesus Christ, you absolutely need to get fired. You just completely suck as executive director, man. Nobody wants you as executive director. You need to go. Seriously. Vince, nobody wants you as chairman. You definitely need to know. You definitely got to go, man. You definitely got to go. These guys definitely got to go, man. They are really upsetting some of the talent backstage, man. And then you wonder why there's news on the Bad Bunny backstage heat. Because everybody is getting tired of the rappers getting their fucking push in the WWE. Yeah, there was backstage news on Bad Bunny backstage heat. Several superstars are unhappy with the way WWE is using Bad Bunny, with the way WWE is pushing him, giving him his push with Damian Priest. Not sure if you all heard that. Just thought I'd throw that out there. See, man. I'm telling you, man. One of these days, somebody is going to tag Bruce in a fucking tweet, and it's going to cuss him out and talk whatever shit they have. Whatever words they got, they're going to talk the shit to Bruce. They're going to be like, look, Bruce, producer right. Da-da-da-da-da-da, this and that. Bruce, everything is your fault. You see why the Raw and SmackDown viewership is suffering for both shows? It's because of you. Why do you think the talent are constantly getting wasted on TV, Bruce? Because of you. Why do you think the NXT talents are getting wasted on the main roster? Because of you. Why do you think Aleister Black's music got changed? Because of you. And why do you think that Riddle lost his United States title match to Bobby Lashley? Oh, it was because of you, Bruce! Oh, man, you didn't think I'd forget about that one, didn't you? Yeah, I saw that one, too. Oh, let's not forget the way you booked. Let's see. What's his name? Oh, let's not forget the way you booked Angel Garza. Let's not forget what are you doing with Angel Garza? You're not doing nothing with that guy, are you? Nope. Nope, because he's being kept on TV just like Andrade. Same with Aleister Black. Same with Humberto. Bruce is making a lot of mistakes as executive director, and I'm not even sure if Vince is starting to see that or not. I'm not even sure if Vince is seeing that. I'm not even sure if Vince cares that Bruce is making all these mistakes. Are you? Any of you on here sure if Vince or Bruce is making these mistakes? Are you any of you sure that Vince is aware that Bruce is making these mistakes, man? Oh, that's because Vince is telling Bruce to do all this. Vince is telling Bruce to bury NXT talent to himself. Right? that what Vince is telling Bruce to do? Bury NXT talent to him? Give the NXT talent to Vince? So Vince can fucking mess up their entrance music, right? So Vince can fucking change their fucking movesets, right? Oh, so Vince can fucking change and ruin their characters, right? Okay. If some of you in the IWC ain't believing that Bruce is making mistakes, then something's wrong with you, and you gotta be a complete fucking oh man, I want to say it so bad. I'm about to start laughing. Seriously, if any of you don't believe that Bruce is making mistakes, you gotta be a complete fucking idiot and a complete fucking virgin. Seriously. You gotta be a complete fucking idiot to think that Bruce is not making mistakes. Folks, truth is, he is. He's making more than just mistakes. You seen how him and Paul Heyman had that beef, had that, you know. You see how he dislikes Paul Heyman. Yet Paul Heyman did the right thing as executive director. He did more than Bruce. Did better than Bruce. Now he's Roman Reigns' advocate. It's funny because him, Roman Reigns, and Jey Usos are the only reasons why SmackDown is getting better. Are the only reasons why SmackDown viewership goes up almost pretty much every week. Wow, man. Funny how everything changes in the WWE, man. It really is. It really is, man. Seriously. Oh, my goodness. Oh, man. It really is. It is completely fucking hilarious how everything changes in the WWE. Oh, subject to change. Card subject to change. Seriously. But seriously, Morgan and Bayley, they look really good in this bout, but the finish was too much like everything else we seen involving Kay and the Riott Squad. Don't get me wrong. Kay is entertaining, but WWE is really treading water with her character. She needs to either join the Riott Squad or they need to make it clear they don't want her. They need to fucking release her from the WWE. If they don't have nothing else for her, let her go. Let her go. I mean, let's be honest. She's one of the worst professional wrestlers to ever wrestle on television. One of the worst freaking WWE female superstars I've ever fucking seen. She is not helping the SmackDown Women's Division. She is bringing down the SmackDown Women's Division. She is making the SmackDown Women's Division look like a complete embarrassment. She's one of the 4 women that I dislike in the division. The other women are Natalya and Tamina. That's 3 women. I meant to say one of the 3 women, but you know me. Sometimes I get my stuff right, sometimes I get it wrong. You all know who I am. I mean, we're not perfect. We all make mistakes. We all misspell stuff. Right? So. Anyways. So Cesaro, after this match, after Bayley's victory over Liv Morgan, Cesaro and Daniel Bryan are interviewed backstage. And Cesaro says they are still complaining tonight. He says Seth wasted their time earlier. So he's going to make up for it by qualifying for the Elimination Chamber. So then the Street Profits were at the Daytona 500 racetrack, or should I say 500 racetrack yesterday, and talked to one of the best NASCAR drivers right now. Sasha Banks will be the honorary starter for the 500 this Sunday. The Profits make their way to the ring. And we got a commercial break. And we got a match that seemingly absolutely made no sense, even though it was a decent match. I mean, I can't complain that it was a decent match, but I can't complain that it didn't make sense because both teams are babyfaces. Why would you want to book a babyface versus a babyface, Bruce? Oh, man. Here we go. Mistake number 1. Or should I say mistake number 4? Number 4,000. Yeah. Mistake number 1, never book a babyface versus babyface match. Mistake number 2, never book a heel versus a heel match, which exactly they do it anyway because they're fucking bunch of idiots. Number 3, never book the same match every week. That's mistake number 3. Oh man, you're gonna love this one. Mistake number 4, never fucking write and produce a terrible show. No, let's change that to something else. Number 4, Bruce is a fucking asshole. There we go, that's better. That's a whole lot better. Oh man, that made me feel really good. Angelo Dawkins and Montez Ford versus Otis and Chad Gable. So the match gets underway, and Gable and Dawkins, they're in the ring. They wrestle for control with some amateur holds and lots of counters. Gable arm drags Dawkins, then gets caught with one himself, and they go back and forth with it. We had some styles in the ring, man. A lot of styles. Well, different styles, I guess you could say. Similar and Cena are all the same to me, though. Amateur wrestling background, Gable, Otis, same with Otis. What about Andrew Dawkins? Didn't he have a wrestling background too? That's why I say this seemed like the same styles to me. I mean, he did play basketball, but anyhow. Gable arm drags Dawkins. They get caught with one himself, and they go back and forth with it while Montez Ford applauds. Montez he tags in, and once Otis and Gable doesn't make the tag, and Gable whips forward to the ropes. So once he whips forward to the ropes, Montez Ford does an incredible backflip to avoid him. He did really good with that backflip. That looked awesome. In my opinion, I think that was one of the greatest backflips I've ever seen. Ford gets trapped and caught with an arm drag, and Gable holds him down with an arm drag, or arm lock. Don't you dare, don't you all in the chat dare don't you dare say that I said arm drag, because I did not say arm drag, I said arm lock. I did say arm drag, don't you dare comment that in my chat. I know what I said. Dawkins tags in and catches Gable with a shoulder tackle and throws Ford overhead to moonsault Gable. Dawkins applies a headlock and holds Gable down. But Chad breaks free and catches him with an overhead belly to belly before tagging Otis. Oh man, that's when Otis came in, that's when things got serious. Some Some terrible looking titty rolls there, Otis. I'm just joking. The working man runs in hard against Dawkins and Ford, running, but gets caught with a flapjack. Otis hits an exploder to Dawkins, then a splash in the corner. Otis hits the caterpillar and attacks Gable. They look for a double team, but Montez pulls the top rope down and Otis falls outside. Dawkins avoids a roll-up and Ford tags himself in. Then Dawkins hits a German suplex and Ford lands from the heavens for the win. Not bad, not bad, not bad. But babyface versus babyface dynamic. Again, babyface versus babyface dynamic just doesn't make sense. That makes sense. Even though the team of Otis and Gable seemed random at first, but they have mashed into a duo that I guess made sense. But I'm guessing this is version number 2 of American Alpha. I mean, I'm guessing Otis has more power than Jason Jordan. I'm not sure if this is offensive to Jason Jordan to have Otis as the replacement of Jason Jordan. Gotta be offensive, man. Oh man, this is so wrong. What if Jason Jordan came and actually turned heel on Chad Gable and actually beat up his buddy Otis? That would be a surprise. That would be a shock. Jason Jordan returning to turn heel on Chad Gable. Oh man, we could see a heel Jason Jordan feuding with a babyface Chad Gable. Some sort. I don't know. But anyways, both men have found success in amateur wrestling, are using it as part of their characters. As always, Ford and Dawkins worked as one. I think Otis and Tucker teaming up was a lot better than Chad Gable and Otis. The team of Otis and Tucker were better for the simple fact that they were an actual team. In the wrestling world, they were an actual team, man. They both had amateur wrestling backgrounds. All that shit. WWE goes into splitting up the heavy machinery. They were fine the way they were. Why did you have to split them, Bruce? Oh, because to you, they're not a team, huh? What a fucking idiot, man. What a blithering idiot. So as always, Ford and Dawkins worked as one, and they are one of the best teams working today. They are. And never miss an opportunity to show off. Now, it wasn't specifically stated, folks, that this was for a title shot, but it wouldn't be surprising if the Profits used the win as leverage when they axed Pierce. You know, the unofficial GM of Raw and SmackDown, Adam Pierce, that Pierce. Yeah, that one. Anyhow, Sasha Banks comes out while the Street Profits are retreating up the ramp. Dawkins and Ford dance with the boss on the stage. And we got a commercial break. Sasha Banks gets some prio as she dances in the ring. Now, get this. We have Sasha Banks in the ring, right? So, she basically addresses Bianca Belair and says she's like a little sister to her. She says that, right? Okay, so then Banks says Bianca knows there is only one choice for her at WrestleMania. I think that I'll tell you right now, I think the choice for Bianca Belair should be Sasha Banks and not Asuka. If anything, the person that should be Asuka's opponent is Shayna Baszler, because I mean that would be a better match for WrestleMania. I mean, but it wouldn't make sense because they're not feuding. So, who does Asuka get? Could it perhaps be Bianca Belair? There's always some possibility there, but problem is Bianca Belair is not a Raw Women's superstar. So why would it make sense for Bianca Belair to go at Asuka? Is it because there's a fresh new match there? Is it because they got chemistry in the ring? I mean, what is it about Asuka versus Bianca Belair that has the community hyped? The community should be hyped about Banks versus Belair. I think Banks versus Belair is a lot better than Banks versus Asuka. I think that's what needs to happen. Banks versus Belair. That's what I think needs to happen, folks. Give us Banks versus Belair. Perhaps we could get Banks versus Belair versus Bayley. I mean, come on, I did say that on my SmackDown review about maybe last month. I did say that. Maybe a triple threat. Works though. I think that's still going to be booked. I think Belair is going to choose Sasha Banks. Belair comes to the ring. The EST of WWE, which is always great to see the EST on my TV. Always is. It always will be. But anyhow, seriously. Bianca Belair comes down to the ring and says Sasha doesn't need to worry. She sees her. Belair says she likes Banks, but she says Banks is not the boss of her. But then they're interrupted by the WWE Women's Champion. Or should I say the Women's Tag Team Champions. Shayna Baszler and Nia Jax. I don't know why they would give them a brand invitation. Because those titles are women's tag team titles and they can go to any brand. Huh. Says Bruce. Says Vince McMahon. Yeah, whatever. Give me a fucking break. Nia Jax says Banks and Belair are insufferable. Their egos are so big, they barely fit in the ring together. But Baszler says nobody cares about who Belair chooses. And people should be talking about them as the only two ex-women's tag team champions. Two-time women's tag team champions, anyway. Jack says they're on a roll, but Banks laughs and says she has footage to suggest otherwise. You see a replay of last Monday night where Naomi and Lana beat them. Banks says that wasn't the footage she intended to see. And then we're shown Lana beating Nia Jax in a tables match. Nia attacks Belair, but Banks takes down Belair. Bianca knocks Jax into the apron, and Banks trips her, so she lands on her. You guessed it. Baszler swings a punch for Belair, but gets caught and lifted into the air. Belair drops Baszler into a knee from Banks. Belair and Banks pose in the ring while Shayna and Nia regroup at ringside. Here's what I think this is leading to, folks. Either number one, Nia Jax and Shayna got wasted on TV for nothing, or number two, it could lead to Nia Jax and Shayna Baszler defending their women's tag team titles against perhaps the team of Belair and Banks. Now, I don't know who the fuck, if this is the case, then I don't know who the fuck would, actually, let's change that. I know who the fuck would come up with an idea like this. I think we all know who would come up with an idea like this. I mean, they've made so many mistakes. They just absolutely deserve to get fired. Guess who I think came up with this idea? Fucking Bruce Prichard. Had to be fucking Bruce Prichard coming up with this idea, man. I mean, he is executive director, right? Had to be the one. And I guess Vince said, oh, yeah, we're going to go with that idea. We're going to go with booking Nia Jax and Shayna Baszler defending their titles against Sasha Banks and Bayley at Elimination Chamber, right? Is that what they want? Is that what you all, some of you all fucking geeks in the community want? I know that's what I don't want. I don't want to see that match at Elimination Chamber. Because I feel like Sasha Banks and Bianca Belair are going to lose momentum in that match. I feel like they're going to lose. That's going to lead to Sasha Banks and Bianca Belair beating the hell out of each other. Or it's going to lead to Nia Jax and Shayna Baszler injuring one of them, potentially. You don't want to see Banks and Belair in the ring with Nia Jax. Nia Jax is already injured. Number of countless female talents. Why would you want to put Nia Jax in the ring with Belair and Banks? I don't understand this. I don't understand why you would want to do that. Why you would want to put Banks and Belair in the ring with Nia Jax. Goes to show you that WWE doesn't care about their young talent, man. They don't even care about their SmackDown Women's Champion. They don't even care about how good position, how healthy the SmackDown Women's Champion is. I mean, it should be Bianca Belair and Sasha Banks in the ring and not Nia Jax and Shayna Baszler. I feel like Nia Jax and Shayna Baszler ruined this Sasha Banks and Bianca Belair encounter. You know, Sasha Banks and Belair were exchanging a war of words, sort of like the Cena and Reigns segment where they came face to face and exchanged war of words. I was hoping this would be like Cena and Reigns, you know. But no! But no! We got Nia Jax and Shayna Baszler coming down to the ring, right? That's what some of the Nia Jax version fans wanted, right? Oh, man. Fucking terrible, man. Really. I feel like the way this is leading to Nia Jax and Shayna Baszler defending the women's tag team titles against Banks and Belair for Elimination Chamber, I feel like this was a bad idea. And if they're going with this, man, this to me would be one of the worst decisions that WWE's ever came up with, man. One of the worst creative decisions ever. Seriously. Cutting terrible, mysterious promos and shit. I don't understand this, man. I really don't. When it could have been Sasha Banks and Belair in the ring, exchanging war of words. Oh, but great, you had that Nia Jax, Shayna Baszler come in the ring and ruined it, right? Yeah, I don't know, man. I'm moving on with this shit, man. This shit's so fucking terrible. So sad. I really feel bad for Sasha Banks and Belair because they didn't get to have their moment. They didn't get to have their moment because they got their moment ruined again for the second week in a row. Anyways, the main event was next as Cesaro and Bryan faced off Roode and Ziggler to find out the final two competitors in the SmackDown Elimination Chamber match. So we basically got Cesaro and Bryan, and you're never going to guess who they had to go against. You're never going to fucking 1 second not guess. You're never going to 1 second guess on who they had to go against. Guess who they had to go against, folks? I know some of you all are getting tired of seeing them on your TV, but hey, they are the SmackDown Women's Champion. They are the SmackDown Tag Team Champions. You can't complain. I was getting ready to say SmackDown Women's, but again, that's me misspelling a few things. But they are SmackDown Tag Team Champions. I mean, I can't complain. They have, but they're. I feel like they're not doing anything with the titles right now. I mean, usually if you're a SmackDown Tag Team Champion, you would be a fighting SmackDown Tag Team Champions. Well, that's not the case for Roode Ziggler. They just said, whoa, no, we're not going to defend our tag team. We're not going to defend. They didn't even tell Sonya Deville or Adam Pearce, oh, no, we're not going to defend our SmackDown Tag Team Champions against Cesaro and Daniel Bryan. We want a qualifying match against Cesaro and Bryan. I thought we were going to get a SmackDown Tag Team title match. That's what I originally thought when I looked at this. But we got a qualifying match instead. And isn't Elimination Tamer technically this Sunday? Or is it next Sunday? It's got to be next Sunday because we know this Sunday is Vengeance Day. So I'm guessing it's next Sunday, I'm assuming, or this Sunday. If it is this Sunday, I wouldn't be surprised. If it's next Sunday, I wouldn't be surprised either. So, but Cesaro and Daniel Bryan versus Dolph Ziggler and Roode. I guess they don't call him Robert Roode anymore. I guess they call him Roode instead. Must have changed this. Oh yeah, remember they did change Roode's name before. They changed Robert Roode's name before. They changed it from Bobby Roode to Robert Roode. So the match begins with Ziggler and Bryan, and Dolph takes a headlock. Bryan shoots him off, but gets hit with a shoulder, and Dolph goes right back to the headlock. They do the same sequence again, but this time Bryan catches him with a kick to the chest and tags Cesaro for a body slam. You have to excuse me. Sometimes I do get my stuff right. Sometimes I get my stuff wrong. Just thought I'd throw it out there. Ziggler stomps Cesaro's foot and drop kicks him for a 1 count. Then takes a headlock and tags Roode. Bobby punches Cesaro a few times. Punches Cesaro almost as if Roode is an MMA fighter or something. That's how bad those brutal punches were, man. Then he looks for a back body drop, but gets caught with a European uppercut. Bryan tags in and kicks Roode in the chest and back. Then swings for the head, but Roode dodges and rolls him up and into the label lock. But Roode reaches the ropes. Roode kicks Cesaro off the ropes and runs at Bryan, but gets tossed over the ropes onto Cesaro. Bryan then runs for a suicide dive, but ends up hitting Cesaro by accident. Roode and Ziggler toss Bryan and Cesaro into the steel steps, and out comes Zayn and Corbin. Commercial break. Back live. And Daniel Bryan is in a sleeper hold and can't reach Cesaro. Dolph slams Bryan into the corner and tags Roode, who comes in with stomps to Bryan, and Ziggler takes a cheap shot. Roode hits a suplex for a 2 count, and we see Roman Reigns watching backstage. Ziggler tags in again and hits a leaping elbow drop for a 2 count before putting Bryan in the corner and raking his eyes. Ziggler puts Bryan up top and climbs up with him, but gets punched off, and Bryan hits a front drop kick to create some separation, tag to Roode, and he immediately knocks Cesaro off the apron, but Bryan rolls him up for 2. Bryan lands some stiff forearm and hits the ropes, but Roode catches him with a spine buster. Ziggler tags in, but Bryan slams him into the corner before tagging the Swiss Superman. Cesaro knocks Roode off the apron before hammering Ziggler with uppercuts in the corner. Cesaro with whip stuffed Ziggler from buckle to buckle, hitting repeated running uppercuts. Roode jumps on the apron but eats a punch from Cesaro. Then Ziggler gets caught with a flapjack uppercut. Cesaro looks for a swing, but Roode chops blocks the same leg Rollins did earlier. Bryan runs in and hits Roode with a running knee, but Ziggler catches Cesaro with a famouser for a near fall. Ziggler runs at Cesaro, but gets caught with a huge backbreaker into the swing and into the sharpshooter, and Dolph taps. And that was it. So Corbin and Zayn talk trash to Bryan and Cesaro from the floor, and suddenly Jey Uso hits Cesaro with a chair in the back. Bryan is dragged from the ring by Corbin and Zayn, and they beat him down. They then get in the ring and help Jey beat on Cesaro. Sami turns on Corbin and throws him shoulder first into the ring post. Then Bryan catches Zayn with the running knee. Everyone is brawling, but out comes Kevin Owens and he hits everyone with stunners. Roman is shown watching backstage, and Owens sits on a chair and shouts that they're not done yet. That's not good. I was hoping this feud would end, and now it looks to me like Kevin Owens and Reigns are still continuing their feud. Oh, God. I hope this doesn't lead to Kevin Owens versus Reigns for the Universal Championship, man. I've already seen this match enough. I've already seen this feud enough. This feud is to end now. Seriously. Like, literally, this feud needs to end. I'm ready for Roman Reigns to move on to his next feud, which should be with Daniel Bryan. I've said this so many times now. It's not even funny. Anyways, the least shocking thing about Friday night's show was that this ended up being the best match of the night. Ziggler, Roode, Cesaro, and Bryan are some of the most reliable performers in the world, folks, so they had no problem working together. So far, Zayn, Corbin, Bryan, and Cesaro have qualified for the Chamber, as I've said in the review. Owens and Uso will likely get their chances to qualify next week. And this was a decent, fantastic episode of SmackDown. But it was a notch below some of the recent episodes in terms of moving storylines forward, and a lot of what we saw felt repetitive. Folks, that's going to do it for your February the 13th, 2021 SmackDown review. If you have any questions on tonight's SmackDown, please comment them in this comments below. I appreciate you all for joining in, for coming in, joining me for my SmackDown review. I appreciate you all coming in and leaving to see, what's going on, to see what I'm talking about and all that. So, thank you all for joining. If you enjoyed this SmackDown review, man, please hit that like button. I'm actually going to put the link. I'm actually going to tweet out the link and the thumbnail again, so everybody will be reminded that I did went live my SmackDown review. So, I got a few announcements to make before I get on out of here. So bear with me and please listen, because you never know what you might hear. Now, number one, I will be going live on Call of Duty Black Ops Cold War. I will be streaming some Call of Duty Black Ops Cold War. And then I'm going to be streaming some Dragon Ball Z Burst 2 this Sunday. And then Saturday night, I'm probably either going to stream Dragon Ball FighterZ to see if it works, or I'm just going to continue with this stream on Call of Duty Black Ops Cold War. Or I may just essentially stream WWE 2K20 for the very first time, because I know some people that want to see me stream on WWE 2K20. Or I may just stream World of Tanks. So, and Monday, it's back to going live with my Raw review. So my Monday Night Raw review will be live next Monday. I promised I'd go live with that, because I haven't done any Raw reviews in like 2 weeks. So I've taken a break for Raw because I'm tired of the garbage. I'm tired of the garbage that we get on that show, and it's really aggravating reviewing that show. So, but my Raw review will be back live next Monday, and I got a few Inga Wrestling News videos dropping next week for real this time. I'm not joking. I'm actually going to be doing some. So more Inga Wrestling News content coming to the channel next week. And more Call of Duty Black Ops Cold War content will be on the channel next week too. Or should I say brand new Inga Wrestling News content. And brand new Call of Duty content. Also, I will also have some World of Tanks content on the channel. And don't forget, as soon as I have enough money, I will be buying WWE Battleground and Jump Force. And I may just save up to buy Dragon Ball Z Kakarot. You never know. Or I may get the Dragon Ball Xenoverse game and have both of them instead of having one. You never know, man. And I may end up trying out Fall Guys to see what Fall Guys is like. So that's why I say it's very important to have on your notifications to never miss all of my content on my channel, all of my new content that's coming to my channel. So, folks, I'm getting out of here. Have a good day. I hope you enjoyed this review. I will see you right back here for your Monday Night Raw. I'll be right back here for your Monday Night Raw review. And I'll see you right back here tomorrow, because I will be live on Call of Duty Black Ops Cold War, so join me there. Even though the quality is not that good, but still. Be there. I'm out of here. Peace.